Hey guys, it's me, Christina, and I have a book review of The Big Gamble by M. Andrews. And I love this book so much. It's probably going to be one of my favorites of 2015 because it was just so cute and romantic and amazing. And the characters are just it's just it's funny and sad at moments and it's just okay. So there's these two characters. There's Brian and then there's Brooke. Brooke moves from New York to Seattle and because her fiance died and so she decides to move to Seattle and she is a writer and she writes erotic stories. And I just loved it. And then she meets her neighbor Brian, who one night let's just say he's entertaining someone, and it was go. I can't even say it because it's just gonna make me laugh hysterically. And so he opens the door and he's not I think he was just wearing she was just wearing her bra and and I think pants and stuff. And and I think he calls her a nun or something, and she slaps him. And it was just so like the best way of meeting someone that these two characters are going to be in a relationship. And it's just crazy. Just and then so she is having problems writing. She can't really write. She's like she is sad and just she doesn't know what she can do. And she meets these two friends. There's Lucy and Lucky. And Lucy lost her husband in the war, and she has a daughter. And so she knows what Brooke is going through. And so she was complaining about this guy named her neighbor, and she didn't know his name. And she was always complaining about this guy. And then Lucy and Lucky invite Brooke out, and then it's from two points of view. So we see Brian's point of view, and he gets invited out also to the same place, um by his partner. I think his name is Ryder. And um and they end up going. So they're going in the elevator, and they're yelling at each other, and he's like, I think you should apologize. And they end up passionately making out. And it was so. And she just storms out, and she goes to the bar. And then Brian is there, and he had nicknamed Brooke the crazy bitch. Um and so when she sees Brian there with Ryder, and Ryder's like, "Oh, you're crazy bitch." And she's like, "What?" And she's like, "So you're the one that is the only one that turned down his charm." And I thought that was so funny. And oh, and she also the night before had a sex dream about him, and he could hear through the walls. And I'm just like laughing hysterically because like she storms out, and Brian comes out and he like, I think we should be friends and I'm sorry and like all this stuff, and then he's like, he winks at her and he's like, have a good night's sleep, and she's like, oh my god, he heard me. And like, and I just love the story, and like you could tell like they start hanging out more, and oh, Brian's dog, who doesn't like anyone, Lola, likes Brooke, and I thought that was like so cute. And so they start hanging out more, and like they make dinner and watch movies, and like you could tell like something is gonna happen. And then one night, Brooke gets like crazy drunk, and she gets she goes, and Brian like takes her, and like she starts like hitting on him like ferociously, and like he's like, I want you to be sober when this happens. And like the next morning they hook up, and like then he's like, I want you to be my girlfriend, and like they start dating, and it's like this like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. And like Brian had this crazy girlfriend who cheated on him with their old captain, and it was just like she's disgusting, and like she's like made Brian think not so like highly of himself, and I just felt so bad for him, and he wanted to take the detective exam, but he's like, no, I can't do it. And then Brooke is like, yes, you can. You're Brian like Gamble, and like you can do anything. And like and then they end up hooking up in his captain's office and a Ferris wheel. And I thought it was just so funny and just like really crazy, and just um so I knew something bad was gonna happen. I just felt it, but we're not gonna go there yet, because like Brian and Brooke go on this trip, and they're like, and Brian's like, oh, I want you to meet my mom. It's her birthday, and she's like, what? You didn't even tell me. All I have is just like sexy clothes, and like mostly clothes are like, I wore this so your son will do me. And like, yes. And anyway, so she is like giving him the cold shoulder, and like so they go to this dress, and she gets an outfit, and they go to meet his family, and it's like all his family. So it's like his sister, his mom, his like nieces, and like oh, like Kindle, like, okay. So then they end up hooking up in his old bedroom, and I thought it was just like really, it was just so intense. And then when they get back, he proposes, and I like started crying because I knew he was gonna propose, and he didn't have a ring yet, but like that didn't matter because he knew he loved her so much, and I was just like crying. And he's like, he said this to his mom. He was like, I know I'm not good enough for her. And he's like, and his mom's like, well, your father thought that too. And just like, and then he ends up proposing to her, and it's so cute. And I was like, I knew something bad was gonna happen because, of course, everything is happy. Like, Brian passed his detective exam. They're engaged. And her father, Brooke's father, and her brother are coming in, and she wanted them all to meet. then I just felt like she just like started feeling sick, and I was like, yeah, I know something else is going up too. Like, and when they get back to the apartment, we see Ryder, and he's like slumped down, and he's like covered in blood, and he's like, Brian's been shot, and I just like start crying. Like, I could not help myself. I was just like sobbing convulsively because I was like, oh my god, she can't lose two people in her life. And I'm just like, oh my god. So he went to surgery, and she goes and she talks to him, and she's like, uh I forget what she said, but she's pregnant, and like he like wakes up, and he's like, I heard you. Are you really pregnant? And she's like, yes. And then he starts screaming, and it's just like perfect. And like they name the baby after her mother who had died, and so they get married, and it's like super cute, and it's like, I just thought it was so cute. And then he bought this house that Brooke wanted, and then the nursery is all set up, and it's just so cute, and I just loved it, and it was perfect, and I love the story so much, and I think everyone should read it. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, and I will see you guys next time. Happy reading. Bye, guys.